Hello everyone, and welcome to WhimsyCraft, and today we're going to be working on a very large project, because we need materials to finish this base, and in order to do that, we need one more farm. Just one more, really. Probably not the last, but we definitely need one today. Now the one thing we're lacking in this area is detail, and that's something that we worked on in the previous episode over here in this area right there. But there's a problem with all that detail. Just to get this little bit of detail right here into the base took forever for me standing over at Stevie's moss farm, and that is not working out for me. Again, remember, I like to be productive. Now I've gathered all these materials, and I guarantee you, it's not going to be enough, but we're going to make it go as far as it can. So I think the first thing we need to do is go ahead and get this farm built, that way it can be running while we build the rest of the area around it. Efficiency, productivity, it's really how I like the space to run this season. Now I have a little platform right up there, and that is where we're going to start. And there's our moss farm, hard at work, and it's actually producing pretty well. So since this thing is built, I've got a full chest, and then I guess we're working up into the next one here. Yeah, and on this side over here, the crafter is already making us some bone blocks. So I think we're doing pretty good. Now I did have to use some of these bone blocks just to kind of get the farm up and operational, but now everything we get, that's what we're getting. And the getting's pretty good. So if you notice each individual little pods here, it's basically the same one that I had from last season in our industrial district. I just changed the orientation around a little bit, and look, there's a block back there. So one of the things that will mess this farm up is cobblestone, and I noticed that cobblestone was there, so I had to come back and fix that. I do have to check every now and then to make sure that we're not getting cobblestone in the farm, but for the most part, it works pretty good. It's mainly when you're building it and then first starting it up, you can always get a little bit of cobblestone. But once it's been running for a while, you're okay. Now one thing that I did do different this season was I split up the farms where we're actually getting different resources instead of just the bone blocks. Because last season all we were looking for was the bone blocks, because we had a shop that we had to run. And this season we don't, so I've actually got a bunch of moss actually being separated out of just one of these pods here. So that one right there on the bottom, any moss that it produces actually gets filtered through a filter right over here, and then it lands right down here. Everything else that one makes, it passes through and still goes into the area to make bone meal right there in the composters. Now these two over here and the farm here on top, they do not. They all work independently from that one, and then they kind of just make the bone meal. That's their only job. Because we're going to need a lot of bone blocks, but we're also going to need a lot of moss. So altogether, this farm right here is going to give us everything we need to do all the detail to this area down here. But we can't leave it looking like that. That doesn't really fit in with the base very well. Also, I've landed in my own water. That's a wild illusion with glass. So now that we have the farm, I think what we need to do is give it a home. Something cozy and tucked away. And now our farm is tucked away nice in this little island, and I think it works out pretty good. It's very tight in there for it, but it does fit, and we'll just go in right through here. And as you can see, we've got one of the farms over here, 2 technically on this side, and then 2 on this side. Now I have both farms turned off right now, and you can see so far we've collected quite a bit of bone blocks for what we need anyway, and then the moss is unreal. Maybe when this is all done, we should start a moss shop. I'll have to take a look at overall how much we're getting, and then maybe that's more profits. Now while the farm is functional, it's not much to look at in here, so I think we need to start fixing that coming up next. But first, we gotta figure out exactly what we want to do. It's the design phase. So here's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking we'll come in here. This will kind of be like the entrance to the area. And maybe we'll have like a little area. We'll have a door. Let me think. Think. So I'm thinking we'll come in right here, and this will be the entrance. And then over here, we'll have a little room so we can come over and deal with the crafter if we ever need to, right up here. And then we'll put this right here in its own room. We'll probably build a wall across here, kind of blocking it off. And we'll use this center area right here for like the main control room. And that's where we'll put all the controls to the farm. Then I'm thinking another wall across here, and probably one on the back blocking in that little room for the repair on the crafter if we ever need to. And then we'll probably lead down into this room here, which will be its own room as well. So that way, both of these farms have their own room, and both of those farms have their own room. And then we'll just have the control room in the center. I missed a block. There we go. That's fixed and all better. Now something else I want to do is take care of all these hopper lines here, because they don't look very nice. And I want to go for that industrial look, but not that industrial. So what I'm thinking is we'll just turn these into copper pipes, kind of leading everywhere throughout the different rooms. Now once we get all these details in, we can go through and start bone milling this area and kind of make it look a little more overgrown instead of just like plain moss. Now over here for the entrance exit, what I'm thinking is we'll do a giant pipe, and that'll lead to these islands over here. And that'll help us cross this large gap right here, and also help us from all the water that's going to be above. Don't worry, it'll all make sense eventually, I hope. Let's go ahead and head on down here and kind of take a look at what we've got so far from the outside. That is looking pretty good. Now, the detail that we have here is actually what I want to eventually get done to all the base down here. But as you can see, well, it's a lot of base, and I didn't have the materials. But now, we do. So let's see how much we can fit in this little space, and try to add all the detail that we can. Now that our farm is done, let's go ahead and go inside and take a look at all the details. So we have this little entry pipe here, which will eventually connect to the other island. And I did do a little bit of detail in here with lanterns and things, and I might age all this copper eventually, but we'll get into that when we get more into like detailing the base. Now, as we head in, you can already see that those copper pipes are cooling the system and doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And I have those running all through the area, cooling the entire system. That way we don't have a major malfunction and this place overheats. And that would be a critical problem. I've also went through and detailed all the moss and got everything looking really nice and cozy in here. And I love the industrial sound now that I have the farms running. I want to add more sounds like that to the entire base, really making it feel like this base is more machinery and kind of a little bit of organic as well. Now in this room we have the control room, and as you can see I've detailed it quite a bit. We even have a little flashing bit right up there. And then on this side we have a little bit more detail here with some lighting, and the pipes continuing along, cooling the system. Now down here, this is our storage room, and here again with the pipes cooling the system, and then over here, well, let's start here actually. So here is our bone meal, which again, we have a good bit, but also I've been pulling out of the system as we go, and as you can see, we've been doing quite well with the bone meal. Let's throw that back right in there. Now on this side over here, we have the moss coming in, and as you can see, we're pretty much almost full. So I'm going to have to figure a way to stop that and let the moss go back into the farm and then create more bone meal. I think that might be as simple as just installing a lever somewhere and doing a little bit of redstone, but I'll play with that later. Now these chests over here are actually moss that I've already pulled out of the farm. That way we can use it to build things that we need, like the mossy cobble and other things like that. This farm is really proving to be very useful, and it's doing really well this season. Now with all this interior work done, I also did a little bit to the outside, and look, it's nighttime, so that's perfect. I've also added a bunch of the glowberries around, trying to give it a little bit more lighting around the base of the mountain. That way you can kind of see what's going on with each individual little island, and I know I keep calling them mountains, but when you build all this, it feels like a mountain. Now building that island and that farm is not the only thing that has happened since I talked to you last in this video. We have updated to the Tiny Takeover, which means out there somewhere are all kinds of mobs just waiting to be found and turned into their cute, adorable little selves. There's also the golden dandelion, which I definitely need to find because I have an idea of what I want to do with this Tiny Takeover. I want to add a little bit of detail to the base, and mainly what I want to do is I want to get some pets that sit right up here in our cabin's quarters. And that way, when people come over, you know, they can be greeted by two little cute pets. So let me grab the materials that I need, and then we'll set off and see if we can find some of these cute little adorable new additions. Alright, I have everything that I need right here except golden dandelion. Now we're going to go find these, and I've loaded some areas around here, so we're going to have to go some areas that haven't been loaded, but luckily not too far. Let's just hope that we don't have to travel too far before we find one. Correction, we're going to fly back to the base because they can be crafted apparently with a dandelion and golden nuggets, and I think I have both of those here at the base. I do not have a dandelion here at the base, but I do have gold. So I'll go ahead and grab some of this gold, and then we'll go find a dandelion, and then we'll go ahead and craft us up a few. And here we have plenty of dandelions, not actually too far from the base. So I'm going to go ahead and collect a few of these, and then we'll craft up our golden dandelions. Okay, we have our dandelions, so let's go ahead and make our golden dandelion. And I figured we'll just do 5 for now. That's all the gold we had anyway, and I really don't need that many. Now, for the babies. I saw a chicken around here a minute ago, and maybe I can... Oh, look, there's plenty of chickens. So, what I want to do is feed a chicken, and then they're going to make a baby. He's adorable, look at it. Oh my goodness, look at him, you guys. That's cute. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to feed him this. Now he's going to stay a baby forever. Now how am I going to get him back to the base? I didn't think about this part, because I was thinking the other animal I want is a wolf, so I can have a little puppy, but here's the thing, he'll just transport himself back there, because he's my friend. How do I get this little chicken all the way up to that sky base? Well, little buddy, I guess it's boat and float. Really wish it wasn't becoming dark, though, because that's making boat and float more difficult, but that's okay. Let me just make a boat real quick, we'll get way up in the sky, and then we'll try to float our way in the best that we can. Ooh. Maybe YMG to the rescue. Let's just put that. We're in dire need. I don't have time to spell everything out. Alright, I need to make a boat real quick. Let's do 1 boat. Alright, let's get this guy in the boat. There we go, just like that. Then we need a lot of blocks. In this situation, I think that calls for probably just grass really quickly. Let me grab my shovel. And a whole lot of these grass blocks. Give me 1 moment. And there we go. I think that's good. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start this boat and float and see how far we can actually get. So I'll hook to the boat, and then we're going to go all the way up there. Alright, and that was much more work than I thought it was going to be, but look at this little guy just chilling up there on the desk. That's going to be absolutely perfect. Now we just need to go out and find him a little friend. after I clean up my mess from trying to get him over here. Now hopefully the next one won't be too hard to get back to base because, well, he should teleport. That's the good thing about dogs. Well, I was quite wrong. I have actually traveled quite a bit of ways and actually putting some quite bit of damage on my wings. And I have found not a single dog. So we're gonna head to another area. You man the ship and I will be right back. We're gonna head over to our ice farm because that's pretty far out and see if we can't load in something there. And maybe we'll have some luck on finding us a little puppy dog. It's this way. Right, here at our ice farm, let's see if we have some better luck, because we haven't really loaded in anything. We're gonna go this way, because this looks like there might be some trees and some greenery, and hopefully we will find a little puppy dog. Well, no luck again, and my wings are starting to break, so we need to go ahead and fix those really quickly. There we are. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to head back to spawn area and see if we can't find one there, because a lot of people are loading areas there constantly and maybe we have a chance? I don't know, but it's worth a try. I'll see you at spawn. Well, after flying around everywhere, I have... Oh! There we go. I was about to say I'm going mad and I'm just going to wander around the woods, but we have our first dog. So, let's go ahead and see... Oh, that was fast. Okay, so we got one. Now we just need to find another. Where could there... Are you kidding me? Okay, hey, bud, come back. Come back. I got something for you. There we go. Now we have two. So, if we get our dandelion ready, and then, where are you going? Where are you going? Come this way. Both of you... You sit. And you sit. Okay. Okay, now that we have them, we need meat. Any kind of meat will do. You're lucky that I never kill a pig in Minecraft, so let me go see what we can find real quick. Here we go. And how many do we get? Perfect. Alright, let's go back to our dogs here, and we will breed them up just like that. It'd probably help if they could stand, huh? Okay, so there we go, and then we will get a baby. I need y'all to move. I need you. Thank you. And now you are forever. Just wondering, can I feed you bones? Oh, you are mine. Okay, that works. Now, I've got all three, so if I head back to the base, I should be able to... They should teleport with me. So, I ended up coming to the shopping district. That's where I finally found them. I actually flew all the way around here. Not too bad on the wings, and then I got crazy and went in there. So, luckily that happened. Let me head back to the base, and hopefully all three should be there. Haven't used this game mechanic in quite a long time. Well, I don't think that worked. Let me go back and see if I can't find them. Okay, I have to remember exactly where they were, which I think was right in here in these wooded areas. So let's go in here and take a look and see if we can find them. I don't think I was too far in. Are you mine? Did you just teleport to me? You are. Okay, that's one. There's two, and then there's three. Okay, let's see if they'll teleport if I hop right over here. Yes. Do I have three? 1, 2, 3. Okay. On to the next spot. Now let's go over here and see if they will teleport to me here. Did we go too far? Let me go to here. Okay. So there is a distance issue. That's something I'm learning. Okay. Well, that's the one that I really want. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we need to head to the base. I'm just going to go a little bit and then kind of let them catch up to me and then go a little bit. So this is going to take a minute. I will see you at the base. Okay, now that we have all three, let's block this up really quickly just so they can't get in there. We're going to extra do it just so they don't clip through the wall. And there we are. Now, we need to get these guys exactly where we need them to be, just so they don't accidentally roam back through that portal. So let me get the leads out, and we'll go ahead and get this little guy first. And he is going to actually hang out right over here with this guy, for now. I take that back. I want to move him So let me grab that and let me hook him back up again. And I want to actually put him right there. Not... Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, he's downstairs. Okay. That could be an issue as well. Let's bring this guy this way. Oh, goodness. Well, that's not what I wanted to do either. Let me hook you back up. Let me get this. There you go. Okay, you need to... oh my goodness. You need to sit down. Quit roaming, please, and thank you. Okay, you... Come back here. Oh my goodness, the struggles of being a pet owner. Alright, now, you need to come up this way. And you also need to just sit right there for right now. Alright, come on up here. Wait, where'd you go? Why did you not come up the stairs? Where are you at? Okay. Can we come up the stairs? Yeah? Alright. This way, please? This way? This way? Okay, so I need you to not be able to get to the portal. If I hook you there, will you not fall through this trapdoor? Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so I want him there. This little guy here, actually want to move him and put him right there, so he can come around a little bit further sometimes. Very nice. Now, eventually I'm going to build a little thing in here for both of them, but for right now, that's a good spot for them. And now we need to deal with the two downstairs and kind of get them situated where they need to be. And now we have our two little guard dogs down here guarding our storage area. And I think that is going to work very nicely. A little extra security helps. Now, as for these little two guys right here, I'm going to actually build something in here, probably in a later episode once I try to design something. And that way they'll have a little play area that they can hang out in and play around. Now that is going to bring us to the end of this video, but look at this little guy back here. He's just so adorable. And then we've got this little guy here as well. Now I am going to, as I said, build something here for them. But until the next one, everyone, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share, you know, all the good things. Also, down in the description is the link to the WhimsyCraft Discord, where you can find me and all the other Whimsies, along with the link to my Patreon, where you can find... oh, haha, there's a cannon there. Where you can find some extra goodies there, including a little bit of early releases to each one of my episodes, and some behind-the-scenes goodies. So until the next one, everyone, stay whimsy. Bye!